In the late 1960s, Northern California was gripped by a killer who did not just commit murder, he turned terror into theater. He called himself Zodiac. He wrote letters to newspapers. He included ciphers. He demanded front-page publication, and he claimed he would kill again if he was ignored. The first confirmed attacks occurred in 1968 and 1969. On December 20th, 1968, teenagers Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday were shot near Lake Herman Road in Benicia. At first, investigators believed it was a tragic but isolated double homicide. Then, on July 4, 1969, Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were shot in Vallejo. Mageau survived, and later described the attacker as a white male who approached their parked car and opened fire without warning. 3 weeks later, local newspapers received nearly identical letters. Each contained a portion of a 408 symbol cipher. The writer claimed responsibility for both attacks and demanded the cipher be printed, threatening more violence if it wasn't. The cipher was eventually solved by a school teacher and his wife. Its message was chilling but chaotic, the writer spoke about enjoying killing because it was so much fun and referenced collecting slaves for the afterlife. Notably, the cipher did not reveal his identity. On September 27, 1969, the killer struck again at Lake Berryessa. This time, he approached his victims wearing an executioner-style hood marked with a strange crosshair symbol. He bound college students, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, before stabbing them repeatedly. Hartnell survived. Shepard later died from her injuries. The attacker calmly walked to the victim's car and wrote a message on the door, listing the dates of previous attacks and signing it with the crosshair symbol solidifying the Zodiac personal. 2 weeks later in San Francisco, cab driver Paul Stein was shot and killed in his taxi. This time, the crime moved from isolated lovers' lanes to a dense urban neighborhood. Witnesses saw a man wiping down the cab before walking away. Police initially broadcast an incorrect suspect description, a mistake that may have allowed the killer to evade capture. What made the Zodiac different from many serial offenders was his obsession with media manipulation. He sent taunting letters to the San Francisco Chronicle and other newspapers, sometimes including pieces of Stein's blood-stained shirt to prove authenticity. He claimed responsibility for additional murders, though investigators could only definitively link him to 5 deaths and 2 surviving victims. His letters became increasingly theatrical and threatening, including diagrams of bombs and coded messages that he insisted concealed his identity. Over the years, the Zodiac sent at least 4 major ciphers. The first was solved quickly. Others remained mysteries for decades. In 2020, a team of private cryptography enthusiasts cracked the so-called 340 cipher, which had remained unsolved for 51 years. The decoded message contained more taunts and denials of fear regarding execution, but again did not reveal his name. The cipher's solution reignited public fascination, but offered no definitive breakthrough in identifying the killer. Suspects emerged over time. One of the most discussed was Arthur Lee Allen, who was investigated extensively. Circumstantial evidence drew attention to him, but handwriting analysis and DNA comparisons did not conclusively match. He was never charged, and he denied involvement before his death in 1992. Other suspects have been proposed by independent investigators and authors, but none have been officially confirmed by law enforcement. Forensic limitations of the late 1960s significantly hampered the case. DNA technology was not available at the time of the murders. In later years, investigators attempted to extract genetic material from stamps and envelopes used in Zodiac letters. Results have been inconclusive or insufficient for a confirmed identification. Periodically, police departments have stated the case remains open, though active investigative momentum appears limited compared to earlier decades. The Zodiac case left a cultural imprint far beyond the confirmed crimes. It reshaped media coverage of serial violence and demonstrated how an offender could weaponize publicity. The killer's crosshair symbol became one of the most recognizable images in American true crime history. Books, documentaries, and films have revisited the mystery repeatedly, each proposing new interpretations, while ultimately confronting the same unresolved question: who was Zodiac?